Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Wait, is this a podcast?
Who the heck are you?
I mean, I don't know. I just thought
Some
I thought it started off. You know,
You're
It
a
just
random
felt right.
stranger with a lot of tattoos,
There you go.
I am. They can't see it.
but they can hear about
They
it.
can hear about it. I like that. Yeah, I'll tell them all about it.
Okay, perfect. Here we are. We're
You
going to
have
talk
tattoos
about.
though too.
I know we're all
We
going
all
to
do.
tell tattoo stories. That's why we're here today.
Okay, perfect.
We're all going to talk about our tattoos, how we got them, when we got them, and why we got them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Each one tells a story.
Your story is going to be really long, Pubs.
Yeah, you need a whole episode just on tattoos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How many do you have?
Oh, goodness gracious. I actually have no idea how many I have. I've lost track.
It's all on one canvas, so
Yes.
one
Yeah,
giant work of art.
for sure. But I've spent many hours in the chair getting many needles put inside me. So, as weird as that may sound.
Most comfortable tattoo chair you've ever sat in.
That's a good question. Probably, unfortunately, my original artist, his name is Kenneth Beers, wonderful man. His tattoo shop burned down in a fire, which is actually very, very sad. Sorry to start things off on such a terrible note,
Yeah,
but
seriously,
very,
geez.
very comfy chair that is no longer with us. But that was probably the best chair for sure.
He did
Fond
the most of your
memories.
tattoos, right?
He did the most. Yeah, most of it has been done by him for sure. So yeah, but I do have a new artist now.
You are a beer's special.
I am a beer special.
Beer special?
Yes.
Speaking of beer, we saw a new beer that was coming out that we want to try. It's called Neapolitan beer, made with strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate.
It looks
my
so
gosh.
delightful, and I feel like I would want to have it with some vanilla ice cream.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Like a root beer float.
Oh, I didn't even think about
Oh my gosh. Okay, back to
Focus.
tattoos. Okay.
I mean, that
so,
sounds like a root beer float already, but continue.
honestly, I agree. Okay, tattoos. So who wants to start? Who wants to go with their first tattoo? All three of us have tattoos. We all have more than one tattoo.
Ladies first.
Mine are the most hidden.
That's true.
You can only really see one, possibly two of mine, depending on what shoes I'm wearing.
Oh yeah, the moons and the writing on your foot.
Which is very faded because I'm afraid to get it touched up because it is so delicate.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
And it's in my birth mom's handwriting.
Right.
So if
Yes.
you ruin that, I'll be upset with you forever.
Just get another one.
Another one for her.
Just have her write something else.
Bigger. Well, I don't know.
Could you just write something else?
Did you? Okay, so your birth mom wrote it's her handwriting as your tattoo. Did
this
you
is a
get
good
that
story.
before? Okay, tell it.
No, I want you to ask
I was
questions.
going to
'cause
ask,
were
did you get that
curious.
before or after you met her?
Before.
Oh, that's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That is
Okay,
crazy.
so
Yeah, tell the story, tell the story.
I love this story actually. This was my, I think maybe third tattoo. I was in a stage. Once I was 18, I got one. And then the next 3 years, I would just I need another one. But they're all really small. So I just would get that tattoo itch. But this one particularly, it was on a letter that I found from my
No
birth
way.
mom written to baby Kristen.
No way.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
snooped. My mom was so, my adopted mom, Wendy, was so mad because I snooped through their filing cabinets in the library at my house. Didn't tell them about it.
you had
found-
you had a library at your house?
Yeah. Not like a Belle and, I almost said Belle and Sebastian, not like a Beauty and the Beast library.
Was it like Hogwarts?
No, not that pretty. But it was, man, I wish I had a picture. It was a really cool little, it was my mom's office.
Oh, okay.
Area, but it was really pretty. It had this whole wall with family portraits and everything. But they
Wow.
had these big wooden filing cabinets that had everything, like taxes. And I was just really nosy one day. I'm I'm just gonna look through my mom's stuff. So I was in I got back from college or something. Pulled it out and there's just a folder that says Kristen. And I'm that's my name. So I went through and it was all the lawyer's documents, all of these letters from my mom, from my all this stuff that I wasn't supposed to know about.
Okay.
Like the fact that my parents, which lawyer my parents basically got me from.
Sure.
Anyway, so in it was a letter.
It was a receipt.
It was a receipt from my adoption. Oh gosh,
Just a copy of the invoice.
that's sore. Oh,
Sorry, that was so
Itemized.
mean.
defective quality.
Itemized. I almost said 1 foot. 2 feet, 1 nose, 2
my
ears,
gosh.
2 eyeballs.
Don't think too hard.
Sorry.
So in it was an envelope that just said baby, because I didn't have a name yet. And so I opened this letter, and it was to me from Corey.
Oh, this gonna make me cry.
And at the bottom,
That's so
it was just this
sweet.
whole that she wrote to me after she had me. And then at the bottom of it says, I love you forever, ... And so that's what's on my foot
Aww.
in her handwriting. Would have been awful, excuse me, if we met and didn't get along,
That's true.
because it's on me. So you can always get it covered up. But, so that was the,
Well, and
the
also
kind of
it's
cool
a
thing.
season too. It's like that's how she was at the time. So even if you didn't get along,
Yeah. It's part of me.
yeah.
Always will be. That's never going to change. So yeah.
Okay.
I think
Well,
that's probably my coolest story.
I also realized we never actually introduced who Pablo was. Pablo's here with us, hanging out.
Hi.
Does
Thanks.
some of our audio, helps us out.
I try my best.
Okay. Moving on. So apparently we have no stories that are that cool. That's for sure.
Not
So,
quite.
You got to start with the emotional content first.
yeah, seriously.
sure.
Oh
This
my gosh.
one, the Moons, though, was a last minute bachelorette party outing
Wow.
when
Oh,
4 out of 5 of us got tattoos on a random afternoon in Nashville, Tennessee.
I like the moons.
Me too.
Just like
Simple.
the phases of life.
Mm-hmm.
The pattern of moons on your arm. I like them. They're a great idea.
Amanda, what was your first tattoo?
The one on my foot.
Ooh.
Is that your first one too? Oh, the one on my foot.
My first one's covered up with something else.
Oh my gosh. I feel like we could only talk about Kristen's tattoos at this point.
Maybe we should just do a separate nugget for each of our tattoos.
Oh my
Each person's
gosh.
tattoo.
That's
you know
true.
what I
We
mean?
might need to. But I can tell mine real fast. The one on my foot was my first one. It says "Have faith" with a little heart, and I got it. I was very planned. I took an Old Navy $2 flip flop with me so that it was lined up to the flip flop because I knew I would always wear Old Navy flip flops. And I just wanted it to say "Have faith," just to like have faith in my life, and that I was always looking at it. I didn't at the time. I would say this was like pre-Christian. I was like I would have considered myself a Christian, but I wasn't really a Christian.
So this was in
And so
college then? when
It
you
was.
got it?
I was 20.
So we've talked about this time in your life where you're like, I was kind of...
Yeah, I wasn't really sure, but I was like, I don't want to get something that screams Jesus, but I also don't want to get something that was like vulgar and satanic, obviously. So, I got "Have faith," and that was it. And
And now you do.
now I do, and I look at it all the time, but I kind of forget that it's there. I also have one on my side that is. It says "She flies with her own wings," and at that time in that season of my life, I was like, "Yay, Mandy! I don't need anybody to help me." Very independent.
Yay, Mandy. That's nice.
I hate it though.
I mean, I'm always like, yay, Mandy, but...
I know, but it's on my side. It hurt really bad. No one will ever touch it. I don't like it. I don't like the handwriting. So I don't regret it. I don't like hate it, but I prefer.
I
something
also
different.
have one on my rib cage that's script that's not like great. It's kind of like fuzzy at this point just because it's like so faded. So I feel some updates in our future.
Oh my gosh. If I ever get a rib tattoo again, hold my hand.
Sure. It'll be a little sweaty though. I just gotta warn you. I get clammy.
Ooh.
You can hold my
It was
forearm.
so uncomfortable. I cried. I had tears running down my face. It was so painful. So I've always wanted to get it covered up, but I can't because I don't want someone to ever touch it again because it was so painful.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So since you are almost tattooed from like clavicle to toe, not head to toe, what is a spot that you would not love to get tattooed ever again?
Probably my hands
Really?
and my knuckles.
Is it because of the bones?
Yeah, probably. It just hurt a lot. Like, and especially on the inside of my hands right here, like right where like kind of like the bottom of, almost like my thumb meets my hand here. Like that was like some script is there actually, and that was rough. But actually, and my stomach.
Really?
Yeah, that was, man. I was like laying on the, what felt like the gurney. But it was just the tattoo.
Zip me up.
Yeah, and I was like laying there. The guy's ripping my stomach apart. And I have this like, American Eagle traditional on my stomach or whatever. And so I was there and like looking at the ceiling. I'm like, I'm never going to get another tattoo. Like, why am I paying money? Why am I paying money to someone to hurt me right now?
It's
And
a
then
big one too.
It was big,
giant.
for sure. And then as soon as I saw it in the mirror, I was like, so when's your next availability? Like, you ready to go?
Worth it.
Speaking of, you go in 2 days for another
I go in
one.
2 days for another one. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to fill it more of my sleeve
Yeah, I
over
do
here.
see some skin there.
Yeah.
crazy.
Just while I'm home, I figured, I'm in town. So I figured I might as well get some stuff done. But yeah, so
Capitalize
I'm
on it.
Yeah.
So tell us one tattoo story of all of your variety that you have here.
Oh my gosh. One.
Why do your knuckles say what they say?
It says only love will save. So God is love. So only God will save. I've always found that to be.
But love was 4 letters and you have 4 fingers.
That's right. God's only 3. So I was like, that's going to be a little weird. So unless I put like an exclamation point like God, but I was like, that's not going to work. So just put love because God is love. And then probably my favorite ones on my hands. I mean, I love Jesus with the crown of thorns. He kind of covers everything. But I really like, I don't tell this story very often actually. So I have right here on my, on the inside of my hands in my handwriting, I have in cursive, bye bye fear, you can't stay here. And that's from a song of like a worship leader that plays the song called Can't Stand in Your Love. And in it, they did like this like live rendition of it or whatever. And they came up with this chant called bye bye fear, you can't stay here. And it really helped me, like that specific thing helped me through like when I had my anxiety and then my like medical anxiety that I have. I still have it, but it's gotten better. But it was like, it really like took over my life for a little while. So I wrote that out a lot. I used to write it out, bye bye fear, you can't stay here. So then eventually I took one of my handwriting, brought it to my artist, and then he put it on my hands right here, like front and center. So I see it all the time.
Well, plus when a lot of people are stressed, they'll like look at their hands.
Yes.
They'll look downwards, and so that's amazing placement for it because
sure.
it's just right
Yes.
front and center.
And when you pray, sometimes like I'll fold my hands over, so I look at those scripts all the time. That's my writing. So I love. There's certain ones that I don't see as much, but I definitely see those ones for sure. So yeah. Anyway, should I tell my first tattoo story as well? It's not that crazy. I mean, it's just I guess because I felt like you guys did and I didn't get to. Should I tell you?
Aww,
Go for
Should I
it.
tell you?
go for it.
Okay. It was a heart. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was. It was.
It was mom upside down,
Yes, mom upside down. It actually says dad.
Wow.
It says dad in there.
like SpongeBob's tattoo.
That's right. Wow. Thank you. On my left upper arm here is the church window where my grandparents got married in Dublin, Ireland.
Oh, that's okay.
And so that was my first one ever. I was
delightful.
17 years old. I got it done. It was 19 hours long, and
Oh.
it took forever. It was the worst. So
Have you gotten that one touched up? Because the colors. look
no,
great.
actually, and it's over 10 years old when you're supposed to kind of get,
Yeah.
and I haven't, and it's stuck. So that means he did a good job.
And you don't have a ton of color, right? Like there's
No.
more. Like the shading is all pretty dark, but there's not a ton of color.
And I've moved to more black and white. I kind of like having like some like what they call crimson colors, which is kind of like darker shades of colors a little bit. But so some of them have a little bit of color, but I like black and white work a lot, especially when I go to do my neck. If I end up doing that,
I have nothing color.
we'll see. Do you
I have
know?
no
Nothing.
color.
All black and white.
One
All
that's
black and
color.
For those listening, it's cheaper. So if you want to get covered up,
That's why I don't
yeah.
have color.
black and white is cheaper.
Although I will get color eventually. I just haven't done it yet.
There you go. It's cool. I mean, yeah. I feel like you have to kind of commit to either one. I think personally.
I feel like you guys have these great stories. They're so great.
Talk to me about your forearm flowers.
Yeah. Let's talk about
They're
it.
beautiful.
Forearm flowers. That's gonna grow in 3 weeks.
Mm.
So
Excited.
Man, I can't wait till I have money for more tattoos.
That's all it is. Time and money.
Right now, I'm spending money on wood flowers and invitations.
hey, priorities.
Hey,
Priorities.
That's okay.
2023.
I think so. Mine is big. So the rest of my tattoos, I have a big owl on my back because I went to Temple, and then we were the Temple Owls, and then I have dogwood flowers because Reagan was born in North Carolina. The state flower of North Carolina is the dogwood tree, so I have dogwood flowers in her honor. The flowers on my arm are not significant. They're just there.
They're
Perfect.
beautiful.
There's nothing to it.
They really are
Really,
beautiful.
honestly, they're just. I just picked it. There's a cross with some wildflowers, and he hand drew them all and hand did it. So then, like the rest of my arm will get done.
And the plan is to keep it going up. Is that what's the plan?
Yeah, and actually, the plan is to bring the branch of the dogwood flowers up and over my shoulder, down my arm,
Wow.
Sweet.
to just make one big piece, basically from my back down my arm.
Yeah.
You're going to be all covered up there, Amanda.
All black and white, though. I don't want to pay for all the color and everything. Also, it's just clean, black and white.
It's clean. It's good. If I could go back, I kind of wish I made everything black and white, but it's okay. Like certain things are color and it is what it is. But it's I guess you'll learn as you do more of them. At least for me, I found it like it sounds so weird to say this, but it almost becomes like less important because
Yeah.
you're like, it's important. Obviously it's going to be on you forever, but you start to kind of just be okay with more. At first it's like, oh my gosh, a tattoo, it has to be exactly or whatever, and then as you get more, you're like, oh yeah, like I have space for that.
Yeah.
Like I'll do this, I'll do that, especially if you want to be covered, which I would like to be.
I actually had usually every tattoo artist that I've had, I ask them what the worst tattoo they've ever had to tattoo on somebody was. And the first guy that I had this tattoo on, I think it was the first guy. I don't remember. I've had 3 tattoo artists. It was either the first or the second one. He told me that he would tattoo. Oh no, I remember. It was somebody else. It was a piercer. It was like I went with somebody to get pierced. They got a piercing. I did not. Actually, I don't want to. Okay. Long story short, I talked to this one guy.
I'm so curious as to
I don't
what he said.
remember. He was like, the worst tattoo he had was that he knew this guy who every time he would sleep with a woman, he would get her name tattooed on his body.
Oh,
Are you
good.
kidding?
It's gross. And so he would tattoo her name, but then these girls started knowing that that's what he would do, and so they would misspell their name. And he would bring them in and get them tattooed.
Wow.
And the guy that doing the tattoos was like, "Do you realize this is like not spelled right?" And he was like, "No, it is. She wrote it down." Like,
Wow.
very bizarre. It's very bizarre.
Is it like in a list, like somewhere, or is it just in a random spot on
I
his
have
body?
no
Does he have
idea.
all these.
That was just all he told me. The other one
Wow.
that I heard that was very like interesting, which is my current tattoo artist, which he would be cool to talk to. But he said he did like Harambe's death date or something like that. Like the
Interesting.
for some, I don't remember it. He like showed it to me because he had like it copied. It was like somewhere. It's kind of funny.
I wonder how many
People get
portraits of
bizarre
the Queen
Oh my
are going to be
gosh.
tattooed on people's bodies in the next.
People get
couple
really
months.
weird tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to get like weird tattoos.
Just like one.
Just like a couple. Yeah, like I feel like,
We do have a weird tattoo planned.
we do.
It's not weird. I think it's just like
It's funny.
it's quirky. My cousin has a what is it? Stick and poke? Is that what you call it?
Oh,
It's
yes.
like literally a needle on a. It's the sounds painful of Snoopy.
Yeah.
And it's awful. And he's tried to he entered a contest to try to get it removed or covered up, and it's just I'll find a picture.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's notoriously he's like, yeah, it's bad.
Wow.
Which it was like one of those early 20s things. Like, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, there's some that you see, when you're walking around or whatever, and you're like, wow, okay, I wonder why they did that. But that's okay.
Tell me about that.
Everybody has their story, their preference. It's cool.
A lot of people also comment on them. Oh, like your tattoos.
For
Anybody, like
For
when they
anybody,
see
yeah.
them, they comment on my arm a lot.
Mhm.
You get a lot of comments, obviously, Pablo. With
I usually
all of
get my
your-
hands because I think I've noticed whenever I'm out and about, sometimes like paying for something or like I'm putting in like my PIN code like at a Starbucks or whatever, and they're always like, oh, I love your, so it just kind of comes up. I've heard that the most important ones, if you're going to like really like focus on getting good tattoos, would be your hands and your neck because then they're so
Very
front
visible.
and center.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then everything else, obviously, it's good to get good tattoos no matter what, but sometimes some are more noticeable. Just depends on where they are.
So, if you were to pick a tattoo artist, like how do you pick one?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm a huge word of mouth referral based. Like if someone that trusts someone, I'd rather go to someone who's trusted personally. But at the same time, you can also find them online. Go to Instagram, look
True.
up a city wherever you are, and then look up tattoos, and then like you can literally just look through the what's it called, the explore page or whatever,
Yeah,
and find good artists that way too. So, or you can just walk into a shop, see what you get.
You
Mine
get
have all been convenience based.
Yeah, that
Like
too.
I don't
Where's
have
the
the
closest
one
tattoo
Well, I mean,
location?
Westchester
At a
had
bachelorette party.
She's
I mean,
like,
obviously.
I'm
that's
like
true.
water, path of least resistance.
Exactly.
Whatever's closest.
Downhill. The only one that they're all. One, I wasn't even planning to get a tattoo. I went to Philly with someone who wanted to get a piercing, and then she chickened out and made 4 of us drive into Philly. And I was like, fine, we're here. That here.
Wow.
And that's why I have a peace dove on my hip.
Okay.
It was $40.
How about that?
Did it heal appropriately?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Is it still there?
I specifically told them though. I was like,
Did it
okay,
fly
so
away?
Did it fly away? Oh no!
She's like,
Sorry.
yeah, it's
Wow.
gone.
Yeah.
I do have a dream of going back down to North Carolina. There's a place called Speakeasy that's like downtown Boone, and I love them. And I want to get my mountains.
Nice. There you go.
Sorry.
I'm making a really weird face. My foot fell asleep to the
Oh, okay.
extreme, and right now it feels like sparkling water.
What does that say again?
Hypercarbonated.
Yes, it's like tingling so
Yeah.
much right now. My poor foot is like, it's coming back. It's waking up, but like,
Hence the
it
grimace.
kind of hurt there for
I
a
thought the
second.
grimace was because of mountains, and I was like, well, this doesn't make sense.
No. Mountains are beautiful. You could do that.
She's like, I support that. I
I'm
just-
gonna do it on
Every
my lack of a bicep on the
mountain.
inside there. Oh boy.
Okay, so mountains is your next one. What's your next one right now?
Finishing my arm.
Finish your arm.
Other than that, I would like to get one on my thigh or my hip, but I have no idea what I want. So if anybody has ideas, you can email us at therockyredpod@gmail.com.
Wouldn't that be a crazy, like,
What kind of ideas should I get? What should
when we
kind of
hit
tattoo
this
should-
many followers or this many listens, they get to pick
our tattoos.
what you get
Wow.
tattooed.
Wow.
I mean, listen,
we picked our own for
no larger than a quarter.
We're also going
that's
to be
tiny.
starting a GoFundMe for all our tattoos. So if you want to donate,
Yeah,
right now.
seriously.
For sure.
Oh, I forgot about my little one. I got a little cactus.
Oh,
I
yes.
love your little cactus.
That
Just
is
a
a good
tiny
one.
cactus. That one I always forget about it. So I'm like, oh,
That's an important one.
It's your newest one,
It is.
too.
it is the newest one. Yes, for now, for 3 more weeks.
Mm-hmm.
For now,
For
excited. I'm about to go in 2 days.
What's yours?
I'm gonna get more floral work just like you on my arm farther up. I'm gonna finish up this whole inner bicep ditch elbow area, which is just the
I
worst.
bet that'd be really uncomfortable.
It's just the worst. I mean, they all like listen. There's guys that are tough about it. I am not. They all hurt.
Did you cry?
No.
So you are tough about it. Because I've had tattoo artists, they say people come and cry the whole time.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on where it is. Like I was. Yeah. Maybe I don't. I don't know if crying is my way of like
I've
showing.
also
that, but-
heard that women do better than men.
Really.
Yep. Their
Like
pain
in-
tolerance is much higher and they're much more durable to get tattooed than men.
Oh, the way you said that made it sound like not
Everything.
tattoos.
My dad always would say everything boys can do, girls can do better.
I would agree.
So that's tattoos for
I would
you.
agree with that.
Okay.
Cool.
Also, if you think you could do something well, there's probably someone on YouTube who can do it better.
Well, that's really encouraging.
Haven't we
Just so
talked
you know,
about
you're
that?
actually never the best.
No, never, ever.
We've talked about that. It's like there's always going to be someone better than you. There's always going to be someone worse than you.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Bottom line.
Always
no matter where
somebody
you are.
more tattooed than you.
Always.
Unless
Unless they really hit our GoFundMe and help us out.
that's
you know?
true, then we'll be more tattooed.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
So all
Support
the
us.
normal ways of giving are. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Check us out at the Rocky Road Pod on Instagram, the Rocky Road Pod on Instagram. You can also email us at therockyroadpod@gmail.com and tell us what kind of tattoo stories you have.
Love
So,
it.
friends, what is our song for this week?
Just like a tattoo. You'll
You'll be
That's
able
a
to
good
hear
one.
the
That's a
real
good one.
version on the Rocky Road playlist on Spotify.
Oh
go.
my gosh. Have a great day.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Love you. Bye.